Welcome to My Way Kitchen, Episode 2. Today's menu, appetizer will be roast shrimp rillette. Entrée will be grilled perch in reduction with celery, pepino melon and plums. Dessert will be chocolate tangerines. Before preparing the appetizer, let me suggest the distinction you need to make between the various processing stages of terrines. Terrine is a cold charcuterie dish from offal, which includes an animal's oment or mesentery, small intestine, parenchymal and plain muscle organs, as well as white and red muscle meat, even boiled eggs, nuts, fruits and berries, mushrooms, green or root vegetables, seasoned and layered in a ceramic or stainless steel loaf-shaped molds and cooked in water baths, then cooled and canned or served right away in slices. Also, infused gelatin or thick layer of fat must cover terrine for good preservation. While talking about the French charcuterie classics, one needs to appreciate that both pâtés and rillettes are types of terrines, but not all terrines are rillettes or pâtés. For instance, aspic is a form of terrine, but it neither is pâté nor rillette. Pâtés and rillettes take a little time or effort to make, yet terrines take years to master. Preparing pâtés and rillettes is very simple, by shredding a pre-cooked mass simmering in fat, insomuch as terrine is being cooked thoroughly in water baths. As simple as it is, you can make a rillette by shredding smoked and moist fish fillet or lox, adding spices and covering with oil. An out-of-menu example, I'm showing you how fast one can make a rillette in the matter of a few minutes. Here I have seared sea scallops, which I will shred now. Add tarragon leaves, pitted fresh apricots, nectarines, plums, pitted cherries, pickled or fresh cucumber, and then I will add some truffled oil or duck fat. For those who are curious, why do I wear gloves only in particular fragments of the show, my reasoning depends on the dish. While dressing a cold dish or dessert, wearing gloves is appropriate. Yet, when you cook a hot dish, soup, stew, consommé or casserole, there is no need to wear gloves as the heat in boiling takes care of sanitary issues.
Le temps d'un jazz, c'est de l'extase, c'est du beau temps. C'est presque une occasion, et pour une occasion, ça tourne encore bien mieux qu'avant.
These wonderfully rich scallop rillettes are best served in a pot or atop crusty toasted bread or cracker. To embrace the decadence of this delicacy and enjoy it paired with, let's say, a glass of pink champagne, to keep the French theme. As for the difference between pâté and rillette, the former is smoother, typically made from parenchymal organs, liver, spleen, kidneys, yet the latter, rillette, is a shredded muscle meat. Rillette can be an appetizer in its own rights, served with cornichons or on crudité and used for pasta stuffing. Yet pâté is not considered as a separate dish. It's for layering or stuffing or spreading a sandwich. Prior to making the appetizer, let me remind you about the confusion between the French and American dining terminology or etiquette. In this table, I show the diversity of parlance or terminology where the word appetizer has a different meaning in France. In fact, entrée is what means appetizer in France. In America, entrée is the main course. You will study other differences later from this table. Now, let's make the appetizer. For Rillette, I've got a pound of raw and shelled jumbo shrimps, shallots, apple cider, rose wine, bay leaves, fresh tarragon, rosemary, dill, pine seeds, whole peppercorns, whole allspice, nutmeg and coriander seeds, Parmesan cheese. Rose wine is greatly misunderstood, yet very popular. It has become the official summer wine or brunch beverage. While there are plenty of charts for red and white wines, sweetness charts for rose wines are rare. What I have here is the Californian rose wine with cherry and watermelon tones, and the grape is Mourvedre, which means that this is a dry wine. Not bone dry like Tevel or Grenache, but dry enough for making a good seafood roulette. Here, I've made my own chart for rose wine folly. You may agree or disagree with it. Regardless, I do think that my choice of Mourvedre rose is appropriate for cooking this roulette. Now, for the medium or base, some use plain yogurt. Frankly, I don't see how dairy would be a good idea for preserving seafood. I don't like mayonnaise either. So, what to choose? Others recommend substituting hummus. Then again, hummus is a heavy chickpea protein. It's not good for preserving shredded meat, the entire idea of roulette. Instead of yogurt, I could use avocado, but I don't want to be redundant. I used avocado in my former show when I was making anchovy remoulade. Here I am replacing avocado with this adorable edamame, which are light, nice, fresh and perfect. Now let's get started. Chop the shallots finely and cover them with apple cider. Let them rest for a few minutes until they change color. Shell the shrimps and remove the veins and tails. Pour the rose wine into the saucepan. With bay leaves and a few peppercorns. Allspice, nutmeg and coriander seeds.
La fille de joie est belle, au coin de la rue là-bas. Elle a une clientèle qui lui remplit son bas. Quand son boulot s'achève, elle s'en va à son tour, chercher un peu de rêve dans un bal du faubourg. Son homme est un artiste, c'est un drôle de petit gars, un accordéoniste qui sait jouer la java.
Bring to a boil and add the shrimp.
Elle ne regarde même pas la piste, et ses yeux amoureux suivent le jeu nerveux et les doigts secs et longs de la notice. Ça lui rentre dans la peau, pardon, pardon, elle a envie de chanter cette musique. Tout son être est
Reduce to medium heat and cook for a few minutes until the shrimp turns pink. Once the prawns are cooked, empty into a strainer and remove the bay leaves. Discard the used wine.
Elle sera la caissière
Process the shrimp. Drain the cider off the shallots and add the shallots to the blending mass. Add rosemary, dill, tarragon leaves. Add the edamame, parmesan, and a bit of pine seeds. Make only a few tries, as the point is in making rillette, not a pâté.
Elle revoit son accordéoniste.
Pour the mixture into a bowl or in special rillette jars and let it rest for an hour in the fridge to let the flavors merge. Here I show you various jars. For rillette, this is the right jar, as it is wide, short, and has a glass lid. If you plan to preserve it, it's absolutely imperative to cover it with melted butter or duck fat. Conventionally, I have to serve the shrimp rillette with cornichons. However, I'm choosing fresh cucumbers with some artistic intervention. Today's entree is perch cooked in white wine in reduction with pepino, melon, plums, and celery. As you know, America's staple meat is either chicken or salmon. I must confess that I hate both. I much like sweetwater fish, but right now I don't have river perch, so this one is ocean perch. In the pan goes butter, 3 perch fillet, spice it up with black pepper and nutmeg. I do not add salt at this stage. Neither I did when I was cooking today's shrimp rillette. If you recall, there I didn't apply any salt. Seafood already comes with substantial natural content of salt. By salting it, you are risking to overdo. Therefore, wait until you finish cooking, then probe to see if there is a room for salt. Add dry white wine. Usually my favorites are Pinot Grigio or Chardonnay, but now I have Sauvignon Blanc, which is fairly acidic with grass and grapefruit flavors. I also add half a Pepino melon, 4 seedless plums, and celery, a lot of celery chopped to this size. Remember, there is no such a thing as enough celery. Close and wait for some 20 minutes. It's done when you see the plums are entirely melted. Before serving, dress with saffron, fresh rosemary, and sage. Delightful, a perfect meal for a date night. Now let's make the dessert. Chocolate caramel tangerines. Here I have tangerines and mandarins. It doesn't matter which one to use. I've got walnuts, dark chocolate chips, white chocolate bars, oil to make chocolate shiny, granulated sugar, disposable mini muffin trays, saucepans for melting dark chocolate or white chocolate and for making caramel. lemon juice for caramel because the citric acid in lemon hydrolyzes the sucrose molecules into glucose and fructose as you heat the sugar, and it prevents crystallization. Also, I have cream. It can either be cow milk or goat milk or even almond milk. If you cannot make caramel, you can melt ready caramel cubes like this. Those are really delicious. You see, the whole point in melting chocolate is about the right temperature. I have made this temperature chart for you for 3 types of chocolates. As you see, all must be done way under the boiling point. It's a simmering process. If you don't have a candy thermometer, I don't see why you can't use a meat thermometer. The difference is that the former, candy thermometer, cannot be used in the oven. I also have this pastry bag for filling the tray with the widest tip attached. If you don't like using it, you can use a kitchen syringe or simply a spoon or a scooper. Also, these plastic spatulas for mixing the simmer. Okay, what else do we need? It seems that I forgot something. Oh yes, good luck! Now let's get started. In the tray go melted dark or white chocolate. Spoon it into these wells, bringing all up to the sides, coating all the surface with chocolate. Do the same with the white chocolate. Or if you want to get fancy, you can do both white and dark chocolate in one well. I will put the trays into the freezer and leave for 15 minutes until chocolate is frozen and solid. Now I will scoop up the caramel sauce, add walnuts or hazelnuts. Further, I will add 2 cloves of tangerines or mandarins in each well, like coffee beans. Put in the freezer for another 10 minutes. Remove and seal all with another layer of melted chocolate. Again, put in freezer for another 20 minutes until frozen and solid. These are nice and set out. You can serve in whole or cut into halves, whichever you like. Try and enjoy.
La tu ta tu ta, la ta tu ta 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 tu ta, la ta tu ta, la tu ta tu ta, la ta tu ta 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 ta.